question. So advice to a new yoga teacher. Um, just go slow and like don't try too hard. Don't judge yourself. I don't know, and just keep practicing. I think the most important part is to keep practicing. Is to remain a student, because like when
Yes.
everybody, like I don't know, like because when I feel like I'm the teacher, like I mean, I guess I'm the teacher like for that 60 minutes, right? For this like lesson in particular or whatever, but like I'm still the teacher. So I think just being a student and being open and just being open with your practice.
Because I actually think that that's great advice, because there are people, I feel they try too hard. And so it's about more about them modeling themselves after maybe somebody or what they think they should be doing, saying, acting, whatever. And it's disingenuous. It doesn't feel real. It's in some ways it can come off condescending. As opposed to if I'm just myself. If I am just myself within integrity. I always tell people, if you're in integrity, whatever it is you do will work out. If you're not, it ain't gonna work. You're gonna get feedback that it's not working one way or another, whether it's feedback to yourself or other people give it to you, and it's not gonna work because you're not being genuine. You're just not being who you are. And I often say to people, they go, oh my God, I love your class, I love your class. I used to do a community class in Pompano Beach, at the beach. It was donation only, and it was an interesting mix of folks. And they're like, I love him. You're just so real. I heard so many times, you're so real. You're so real. And that fascinated me, because what it says is there are people who are not themselves. I'm just me. It's like, yeah, girl, there's no lotus happening here. If you can do one, go for it.
No, you're my model. I know when people do that, I'm like, okay, do what he's doing. Yes, right. And then I just each one teach one.
That's right. That's
right. I get it. That sounds so nice. How did you end up? How did you get to Spain?
Oh, that's a good question. We're going short.
I've always wanted to ask you.
You did. It's a shortened version. I have a friend whose sister, British friend, white woman, whose sister lives here currently. And Julia was coming to my house. She was traveling somewhere and she was going to fly out of Miami or something. We were living in Pompano Beach.
Yeah, sounds dope. The big that was my goal.
And so she showed us pictures. We had sold our house on the West Coast side of Florida, like 4 or 5 years prior. And people were saying, well, you're going to buy another house, you're going to do. It's like, no, we don't know what we're doing because we're not sure we're going to stay here. We didn't even know where we're going to go. We're just going to rent and see what happens. And so the long and short of it is she showed pictures, literally pictures of this place in Spain. And I was like, ooh, that's nice. I would, could we do that? And our kids are like, oh, of course, grown, and they go, that is so you and Dad. It's just like, you can always go back home, but if you don't try it, So we, sight unseen, had never been to Nearhouse, Spain, ever. We've been to Spain on cruises, literally, but not even considered living. Don't know whether no folk that look like me where they're gonna be, anyhow. So we ended up there, and actually Fred was diagnosed with oral cancer when we decided that we were going to move. And to make it a very long story short, I remember him saying to the oncologist, he says, we have no place to live. We're giving up our apartment, and Sharon is going over to Spain to find us, and I need to be there and need to leave by this date. And the doctor looked at him like he was crazy. And he said, the doctor says, well, we'll see. He said, no, 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 we won't see. I am getting on that plane and I am leaving. And he got on that plane through treatment, through radiation, through an emergency surgery. So anyway, we stayed there for 3 years, but it was too small. Very villagey. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. But there's not a lot of diversity. And I mean full range of diversity, not just race. There's just, when they say Mediterranean diet, these people live a long time. I swear 98% of that town had to be 90 and above. I'm not lying.
Wow.
I'm not lying. It's gorgeous, but we would visit here. We live in Malaga now. Not a huge city, I would say medium-sized city, way more diversity, a lot more to do, culturally, folk, whatever. So we ended up here because we wanted to be in a place where we could travel. Of course, COVID sort of did a number on that one. Yes. So because we wanted to travel, it's like, we don't have nothing to give you kids. Yeah. We're taking that money. We're going to enjoy life. We sold this house. We're going to travel. And that was the intention and the lifestyle. It is a very laid back, very inexpensive place to live.
Is that right?
It's incredibly inexpensive to live here. It is a socialist country, and it is a bit on the conservative side. Portugal's more on the liberal side of socialism. Spain's. However, anything that is a necessity here is cheap. Your rent, your utilities, your internet, you name it's cheap. Your food, it is.
Wow. What's the city?
We live in Malaga, which is in Costa del Sol. So we're closer to Africa than we are to Europe.
Wow. Dang, that's so neat.
Yeah. So it's been interesting. You don't see a lot of Americans. I don't care what color they are. Americans don't tend to travel. It's fascinating. So you see some North Americans, a lot of them are Canadians.
Right.
Yeah, it's fascinating in that result. Africans don't tend to speak to you, but I've had that experience in the US where, that's a whole nother conversation.
Oh Lord, I know.
Yeah, so, and the language, I hadn't had Spanish since freshman year in college, so it was a really long time. And we happened to live in the place, Andalusia, which is an area where actually there's something like 7 or 8 different dialects of Spanish that are spoken in this country. People think there's only Spanish. So here, they speak incredibly fast and they drop their endings. It's very hard to understand. I can go back to Miami and I swear I feel like I'm like, woo, I'm fluent.
Right, I'm nice with it. What?
Because they speak so much slower. And they end their words. Here, you're sitting there going, they don't say gracias, they say gracias. Everything is cut short. So it's been interesting. We miss home, we miss being, every now and then I go, I don't know, I think I want to go back home. We can't live the lifestyle we live back at home though. It's too expensive.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So that's how we got here. I keep telling people, come visit me.
I know. We're like, oh wow, it sounds nice.
It's interesting. It's nice. People are very friendly. I've not had really, the only experiences I think we've had that have been around race have been with the British. There are a lot of British here.
More like classists.
Yes, it's fascinating in that regard. It's like, you don't know who I am. Don't even get me started because you don't even want me to go there. It has not been with the Spanish. Some of the older Spaniards are not used to seeing people that look like us because we don't look like we're African. We don't dress like we're African. We're not fitting. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they sort of like, and
They're
forget
kind of
the
confused.
locks. Like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
This is not fitting. So they stare at you, and it can be disconcerting. You know,
Sure.
sometimes I want to do like a TikTok. What you looking at, stranger?
What? Yeah, really. Like, yeah, okay. But you know, that kind of happens here. That kind of happens anywhere. And I think they think it's just we're interesting looking though. That's, you know, I mean, it's just once
we don't
that
fit.
day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you can tell that we're not European in any sense of the word. It's about your dress. It's about how you carry yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all of that, the nonverbals, I think, even.
Sure. All the posturing and.
Right. So it's been interesting. So I used to think I wanted to do yoga here, but I can't find enough people that speak English to do.
I was gonna ask you about that. Like, is there a community or no?
I've been trying to find, there's a younger community of Black Americans. Many of them they teach English here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I was like, I wish I knew that when I was in school. But
right? Like, sheesh, I'd have been over here. Oh, cool.
That's right. So I'm way older than most of them. I have connected with a few through a number of Facebook groups. Mm-hmm. Lovely young women, but not enough to find I mean, I probably could find British folks, but would they look like me? I doubt it. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I would really like to teach a community class.
I mean, yeah, no, I understand. Yeah.
So that's challenging in and of itself. I'm like, okay, well, maybe that's not going to work. So someone said that they were starting a roller. I rollerblade, but I don't roller skate. I can rollerblade, but I don't roller skate. I saw something about starting a roller skating, you know, like learning how. I said, oh, I'll go do that because that'll be a good way to connect. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, and hopefully not break my neck.
Oh gosh, see, I'm scared. I'm not doing any rolling. I am scared. Oh God, no. I'm like, I'll be the best cheerleader. Go, Sharon!
Yes. So yes, that's how we ended up here. Whether we stay here or how long we stay here, you know, like I said, like everybody, COVID sort of those 2 years, you know, just upended so many plans for so many people.
Yeah.
Thinking about that though, you working with kids and doing the yoga philosophy. How do you find the kids adjusting, or have they adjusted? I guess is the question.
Like as far as COVID.
Yeah, like you not having school, being online in school.
Well, they've gone back here.
Yeah,
They've gone back. So I know they were struggling. You know, what was it, last year in 2020 when it first happened, they were really struggling. And then last year, some of them were excited about going back and some of them weren't. So yeah, you know, you could definitely tell. And they would express that because that's part of the class meeting. I talk about, you know, what was good, what was bad. Some of them said I was really excited to go to school to see my friends.
Yeah.
And other kids were not excited to go back. So yeah, but I feel like they're doing pretty good now. Just because I feel like they're getting more used to being around each other, and you know, they live in a housing community, so they never lost touch with at least the people right around them.
Exactly.
Now, but you know, you always had that friend that lived in the other neighborhood who, you know, you only saw at school. So I know they miss people like that. But yeah, but I think they're doing pretty good. And things are kind of getting back to normal, honestly. Everybody's hacking, but I think people have like the flu. I don't know what people have now. Everybody's coughing, but I don't know what they have.
Maybe it's allergies, I hope.
it's like you're kind of like, oh, but then you're like, I mean, I was coughed yesterday. I don't know, I'm just trying to stay safe and
Right,
away
right.
from people that are coughing a lot. But I think they're doing well. I think they're doing good.
Yeah, I think they're all, wherever they are happy to get back to what would be considered normalcy. It's going to
Mm-hmm.
be interesting to see what, mm, as you look back at the impact of all that for a lot of our kids in
Mm-hmm.
particular, because so many of them struggle to have even a laptop to be talking about get your laptop and go online. A lot of them didn't have a laptop or iPad or had to sit outside a school building so they could log on a phone. It's just,
Yeah.
it's going to be interesting to see what the um, fallout, so to speak,
Yeah.
will be. It troubles me a little bit,
Yeah.
my grandkids are lucky because they got parents and grandparents that can make sure they have everything that they needed. But there are so many kids that,
I know. I feel like a lot of them just struggled. They had all that, but I think it was just hard for them to actually sit there and log
yes,
on and stay engaged because it's virtual. I have not ever been to one virtual yoga class, and I don't even send the link for mine that I teach on Monday because I just think it's weird. Not that it's weird. I know that a lot of people have transitioned, and I mean we're doing this whole thing through Zoom, but a lot of them I think just struggled once they sat there, was just kind of like being engaged in the whole process of sitting there. And
right.
I really can't do it either. I think it's a little bit. So it's 8 hours to do this,
Yeah, no,
that seems like a
no,
lot. It is
right.
a lot. I mean, your eyes would hurt. And it's essentially they'd be like being little grown-ups. They're on the
Right.
computer. I don't know. It's weird, but I'm glad they're going back.
I know that's a really good point. The whole virtual yoga thing. I mean, that was the way that most people had. A lot of people who had studios or whatever, or yoga was their livelihood. That was
That's
the
how
only
they
way
did
they
it.
would. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how they did it. And I mean, I wasn't really a big fan. I was almost kind of could have been like, well, I'll just come back when when we go back live again. But I stayed. But I'm we have a virtual option, but I don't even send the link. I don't know why. I just don't
You
feel like
don't,
I
huh?
connect. No, because I don't feel like I connect with the people. I don't even know they're there. And then you'll get an email like this happened. I'm like, I had 12 people in class. I wasn't really looking at the screen. I don't know. It's just a lot for me. I need an assistant. Like, no, I'm kidding, but it's just a lot for me. And
Right. I think it's not a medium for everybody, number one, whether you're the teacher or the student,
if there was,
because
I'm not. Yeah, yeah.
I'm so much more person connected. I like to see people, I like to joke with people or whatever,
But I
hey
can't see
girl.
your body. Like, what if you're doing something wrong? Like, am I
Right.
supposed to look at you or the people that are actually here? I don't know. I just feel like I needed, and maybe it's just being bougie because I've never had an assistant. But I'm like, if you want me to do virtual, you really need somebody to man the virtual part because I am manning the
It's
human
true.
part. Like, I can't do all that.
That's true. It's,
I
it's a
feel
good
too
point.
divided.
Yes.
It's too much. And like, if you really want to come to class, just come to class, yo.
Yeah. Right. So tell me, we have a few more minutes and I don't want to like keep you past the time.
Sure.
What's in the future for your dope yoga?
For dope yoga, dope yoga, man, I've been like so heavily focused on each one, teach one, dope yoga. Let me think. Um, for
Well,
dope
that
yoga,
too. Well, that too.
I was gonna say, I've been so heavily focused on the each one, teach one portion of it. So I guess to really incorporate the dopamine yoga philosophy into each one, teach one, because the goal is to just for people to understand, thoughts, emotions, behaviors are all connected, right? And once you have some awareness through your five senses or your sixth sense, right?
Hmm.
Then you're able to tap in with your inner self, then you can deal with the outer self. And then, you just move from that navigation point. And really, I just my goal is to, you know, obviously monetize this charity because I'm looking for diverse teachers that can step in, and so we can expand to different communities. And really to just kind of bring the whole Sankofa aspect is to just give it to the next generation.
Right.
Because I want these little yogis, they will be each one teach. Well, not they will, but the goal is for them to be, is to have a teacher training where I can teach other adults how to be each one teach one teacher, right? Essentially, you know, a 200-hour trauma-informed training, you know, for diverse communities. And then the goal would be to have a youth teacher training as well, so that the kids could then be teachers, right? So, you know, just start, because I mean, we have like 3 and 4-year-olds, because it's a lot of siblings, you know, a lot of siblings in the neighborhood. So literally, it started out with like the 6-year-old, and then her little sister wanted to come, and now literally we have the 6. Now even the moms come now, and then like the younger sister. So I just wanted to be a community thing, and just to grow it, just, you know, empowerment through self-awareness, you know, and just being able to control yourself. That's really all you have control of, and just to kind of grow that feeling of self-worth and awareness, and just make people know how dope they are. Really, shit.
That's right.
You know?
That's right.
You know? So,
That's
and not be
perfect.
afraid to step into that shit, you know? Like, it is what it is. Some people love me, some people hate me, and it is what it is. You know, I know I'm a lot, but I feel like they're not enough. And not that, but you know, everybody's got their superpower.
This is true.
I want to teach people to like step into theirs, right? Like, boom, look how dope you are. Boom, go share that shit. You know what I mean?
Right. Absolutely. That's right. That's right. I love the idea of, you know, kids that are trained. It's really a way that a lot of prevention programs work, right? Because kids listen to other kids before they'll listen to an adult, period.
That's it. Period. Because I'm like, go set the mats up. Or they'll be like, but as soon as one of them goes set the mats, now they're all doing it, right? Like, I want them to understand your power. I'm like, yo, use your powers for good, shorty. Because they'll be doing all this stuff. I'm like, see how you got everybody riled up? See how when you got all this energy and this power, use it so that you can like move forward and move things forward, right? I mean, I've used more like kid baby talk, of course, you know, but essentially that's it. Like, use your powers for good. Use your powers for good. I use my powers for bad for a long time. I get it, you know what I mean? But like, you gotta like figure it out.
Right. Yeah. I so appreciate you taking the time. That's a great way to end, is using your power for the good. And we all have the power. It's how we use it, right? Absolutely. So thank you, sweetie, for taking the time. I'm so grateful that you did. I so appreciate it. I will send you when I'm gonna post, but you'll get a copy of all of. I try to break them up into 2 sessions, because people don't tend to watch long, you know.
The whole thing. Yeah. All right, and we can do it again, maybe even.
Yes, you know, like, I would love it.
If we get cool feedback, if people are like, "Oh, what about this?" You know, I mean, it could be like a whole thing. So
definitely. So you take care, and again, I appreciate it. Love you, sweetie.
I will. Enjoy your evening. Love you too. Thanks.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.